Oh, hey, kids, how are you? Hope that wasn't too boring. I probably was kind of a long time. Sorry about that. Welcome. Well, we're almost, we're into April already of 2024, and everybody's still here. It's the 14th, almost the Ides of April. Nobody talks about that. But wow, looks like the world has gone a little bit nutty out there. And so we'll just briefly kind of get into it, and I'll do just a quick update. I think I'll actually start here with kind of the health stuff. Um, so, the last, I don't know, 10 days or so have been really horrific, like really desperately, horribly bad. And, like I ended up I did finally end up having to go to the hospital and get checked out, and was dehydrated and all that sort of stuff. But shortly thereafter, finally got all the fluids back and everything. And at that point, I actually started feeling pretty good. So, like almost miraculously. So I want to say thank you for everyone who offered their prayers and thoughts, positive vibes, and all that. Um, that is good, and really almost turned just upside down. Went from being so ill, um, and then mid Friday I started to feel quite a bit better. Only earlier today, finally did have another episode finally, but I was almost 48 plus hours, almost feeling pretty good. So that's better than better than it has been. I'll take it. So thank you for that. All right. So yeah, what's happening out there? Well, as you probably know, unless you've been living under that rock that you just saw there, there is wild stuff happening in the world, and I would say unprecedented, certainly in my lifetime, and to hear it told, ever that I know of. In that Iran, who has long been opposed to the existence of the state of Israel, and that feud goes all the way back to Abraham, and he had a wife, Sarah. You may know this story, and so he had two boys, Ishmael and Isaac, and Ishmael was with the slave girl, and that didn't go well. And so those half brothers became, well, there was enmity put between them from the beginning, and so shall it ever has it ever been. As a result, there's long been hostilities between Muslims and the Jews, and threats of all kinds, but never have we seen um, this come to pass. Now, again, there are many people who believe that this portends, the end of the world. And I think, let me put it this way: every day that goes by, we're one day closer, because I think there is a time when Dad comes back for his kids, and I think it's sooner than ever, sooner certainly than I've ever seen it. Um, but I'm cautious about setting dates and times and all that sort of stuff. But I think we are, as I've said, we are beginning to see Book of Revelation start to play itself out in the first, at least three horsemen of the apocalypse. I think we'll get four pretty quickly. I think, although the big eclipse event did not in itself portend the end of all things. It certainly, again, is a sign, and we can be certain of that because it says right in Genesis chapter 1, right, that I put these there for signs and seasons and days and years, and so you can be certain that when you see these things, right, that there's going to be something attached to it. The trick is understanding what and how, and I think the bigger trick there is trust in Dad, right, because he says that he never does anything without telling his servants, right? So he'll show you what's going on. You don't have to rely on tarot cards or tea leaves or anything like that. He'll just trust him, right? But we can see these things. So it's while it says certainly that no man knows the day of the hour, then we certainly can. In any case, it says that we should, however, watch and pray and be ever watchful, right? Don't be caught off guard. And Jesus himself said, when you begin to see the fig tree begin to sprout leaves, you know that spring is coming. So how is it that you know signs and seasons, but you don't know what things are happening in the spiritual? So again, that seems like a directive that we should look and we should be aware of what's happening around us. And to that end, it does appear, again, with these things happening, certainly unprecedented, that we should pay attention. Again, I certainly am not going to. I wouldn't recommend that anybody go, right now running for the hills, going, oh. But right, there may be a day that that's the right thing. Jesus said again, there will be a time that when you see it, you should go running for the hills. And what is that? Again, he delineated a certain thing. He said, when you see the abomination that causes desolation, you see spoken of in the prophet Daniel, right? That's when you go. So again, he's telling us to pay attention and look closely at the signs and seasons around us. And again, from what I see, it does look like these things are occurring. And for me, and hopefully for you as well, that doesn't bring up fear, but rather encouragement, right? Hey, Martino. Yes, Jesus said, the parable of the fig tree. Exactly. We should pay attention. He said, exactly. That's exactly right, right? We should look and be mindful of these things and watch and pray, right? And he said specifically, right, that my sheep will know my voice, right? So no matter how good you might be at reading signs and seasons and paying attention to, astrology or anything like that, he also said that they will be sent to strong delusion, that they might believe a lie, and that my sheep will know my voice. So seems to me that the trick here, again, is to be connected and be in a personal relationship with your Creator such that you can hear His voice clearly during these times of chaos. And it also seems, right, just at least, from what my heart tells me, right, that you should be doing whatever Spirit tells you to do. And so don't run afoul of fearmongers, right? Saying, oh, you should stock up on, 4 years worth of dried food and stuff. I mean, hey, listen, if Spirit's telling you to do that, by all means do that, right? But but otherwise, do what Spirit tells you to do. There are, he says clearly, put your faith in Dad, right? Store up your treasure in heaven, not in things on earth, right? Even, weapons and stuff, again, they might be useful, and they, he says, be prepared, right? Be like a Boy Scout, right? Be prepared. But don't put so much faith in those things that you are unable to listen to Him, right? And, for example, potentially leave all of it behind. He says, go, right? Or to give it to someone else who he says give it to. If you're too possessive of it, if you hang on to it too tightly, then it, you won't be able to let go, right? Put your trust in those things rather than in him. And it is so, I think right now, vitally important that we put our trust in him, right, day to day, and that we watch, again, closely all these things that occur around us, right? Whether that's the red heifer in Jerusalem, right? Did it go? Did it not go? Well, they may not tell us, right? We know they went over there, but then, there's no news, so they did not do it. Again, we don't know. And is it that important, right? Like there's nothing that I can do to either hasten it or prevent it. The only thing that I can do, right, is continue to keep my eyes on the Creator, watch closely, and pray, right? And so that's what I intend to do, for the foreseeable future. It does look, again, to me like when he tells me to watch and pray and be on alert, right? So again, I'm looking for things to happen within like the next 90 days, maybe even the next 40-ish days. Stuff to begin happening, and here we have stuff already begin happening. This is certainly again, unprecedented in my life that we see Iran openly attack Israel, and Israel is kind of playing coy in that we're going to do what we're going to do. And again, what's my position on this? We're told in Scripture, right, and Jesus told us expressly to pray for peace in Jerusalem, and that's what I'm doing. Right, so I don't support any form of war. I think in that regard, when he tells us to pray for peace, right, I pray that Dad's will be done in all things, right, and he says pray for peace in Jerusalem. So that's my fervent prayer, that there is peace in that holy city, and that Dad returns, right, and when the time is right, that we get to go home. And until then, right, continue to be a guiding light and bear witness. To taste and see that the Lord is good. So I just want to share this with you. I've been just kind of hung up in Isaiah in the last several weeks, and there's such beautiful correlation to what we see happening now. So again, just Isaiah 55. You can just read along with me right now. Again, in the Holman Christian Study Bible. That's a translation I'm currently using. And again, starting with verse 1, come, everyone who is thirsty. Boy, that'd be me, right? Come, all you who are thirsty, come to the waters. And you without money, come, buy and eat. Come, buy wine and milk without money and without cost. Why do you spend money on what is not food, and your wages on what does not satisfy? Listen carefully to me, and eat what is good, and you will enjoy the choicest of foods. Pay attention and come to me. Listen so that you can live. I will make an everlasting covenant with you. The promise is assured to David. Since I have made him a witness to the peoples, a leader and commander for the peoples, so you will summon a nation you did not know, and nations who do not know you will run to you. For the Lord your God, even the Holy One of Israel, has glorified you. Seek the Lord while he may still be found. Call to him while he is yet near. Let the wicked one abandon his way, and the sinful one his thoughts. Let him return to the Lord so he may have compassion on him, and to our God, for he will freely forgive. For my thoughts are not your thoughts, and your ways are not my ways. This is the Lord's declaration. For as high as heaven is higher than the earth, so are my ways higher than yours, and my thoughts higher than your thoughts. For just as rain and snow fall from heaven and do not return there without saturating the earth and making it germinate and sprout and providing seed to sow and food to eat, so my word that comes from my mouth will not return to me empty, but will accomplish what I please and will prosper in what I send it to do. You will indeed go out with joy and be peacefully guided. The mountains and the hills will break into singing before you, and all the trees of the field will clap their hands. Instead of the thorn bush, a cypress will come up, and instead of the briar, a myrtle will come up. It will make a name for Yahweh, as an everlasting sign that will not be destroyed. Praise you, God. That is so good. And yeah, I get excited. So, hey, listen, thanks so much for dropping in. I really just want to encourage you right now, right? I mean, I've been watching things go on around, and we could probably dig into it and go deep. but again, if I interpret it for you, just again, look, I just want to encourage you, continue to look, continue to press in, right, and pray for one another. It's so important that we pray for one another. David Best, my friend in the UK, we always have such a great time just praying for one another, right? And it's so encouraging and so helpful. And so we're just going to get together weekly and start doing that. So I'm going to invite you guys to join with us. I think we're going to try to do it kind of Wednesday afternoon, evenings, depending on where you're at, and get together and just pick up the burden of our heart and pray, right? And pray for those in need, right? Pray for those around us and pray for his soon return, right? I think all those things are appropriate. Hey, Richard, how are you, man? Glad to see you. So anyway, that's again my prayer for you, right? Is just that again you are comforted. You find peace and comfort, right? And that the Creator will find you right where you're at. And if you're willing, if you're honest, just ask Him to be there, and He will. And so with that, you guys are again so always welcome here. So glad to have you. And let's see, I'll throw some tunage at you here. I think I have all the buttons right this time. And so again, just sort of a short little meeting here tonight. My intention, right, is to hopefully start to spend more time with you as I begin to feel better. This week it started to happen a little bit, and I got hit again. So, but keep praying, right? It was like there was a few moments of just like, yes, it was there pretty good. So, anyway, hey. Again, thanks so much for coming by. It's great to see you, and hope to see you again soon. I am the Great Baldini, and you are awesome. Be well. I close my eyes.